Welcome. My name is Rob Douglas, President of the Lake Bluff Park District Board, and on behalf of my board members, we want your thoughts and comments about this question under consideration. Should the Park District continue to offer and operate the Lake Bluff Golf Club? The purpose of this video is to provide you the opportunity to hear the presentation without attending the meeting. The Park Board and staff feel a deep responsibility and commitment to the Lake Bluff community to always be financially responsible with our tax dollars. Over the past 10 years, the board and staff have been working to keep the Park District as a whole financially viable for our community through a comprehensive planning process. This process has involved multiple action steps with committees and studies covering all aspects of the Park District. The Park District has been methodically gathering all this information so that the board can set the Park District on a long-term trajectory of financial sustainability. The Park District has worked hard to keep the golf club financially viable for our community, but as you'll hear, this particular operation has been difficult and costly. I might further add that half of the Park Board members are golfers, including myself. It is a game I truly love, so emotionally this subject is close to my heart. Our Executive Director, Ron Salski, will share the detailed data and background information about the golf club's finances and operation, including assessment reports from experts. And you'll see the golf club's financial impact on the Park District's overall budget. The Park Board is focused only on collecting facts and hearing community input to help inform a decision on whether or not we should continue offering and operating the golf club. If there is a decision to close the golf club, it is important to know the golf club will be open for the entire 2018 season. Any discussion or decision about future plans for the golf club property will be addressed at the end of the 2018 calendar year. To share more details about the golf club, I would like to introduce Lake Bluff Park District Executive Director Ron Salski. Ron will provide a briefing on the golf club background and current financial impact and future projections. After Ron's presentation, you can email questions to the Park District. Thank you.
Welcome everyone. I'm Ron Salski, Executive Director for the Lake Bluff Park District. I've been with the Park District for the past 10 years, reporting to the Board of Commissioners. I've had the pleasure to serve many communities in my 24-year career, and the Lake Bluff community has been the most rewarding. This presentation will be in a PDF format. After the meeting, it and other information about the golf club, including a list of frequently asked questions from the community, will be available for download on our website. As Rob noted, you can add to the list by filling out a card at our guest service desk or by submitting your questions to inquiries@lakebluffparkdistrict.org. The Park District has spent the past 10 years in a comprehensive planning process which factors in many facets of the Park District, and not just design. It includes plans such as technology, financials, capital, debt, American with Disabilities Act guidelines, and much more. I'm here at the board's request specifically to provide facts, history, and forecasting and information on the golf club and how it impacts the Park District and community as a whole. The Park District has been embarking on a 12-year financial sustainability plan to identify and outline the priorities of the community and allow the Park District to provide quality services, programs, and facilities for a long time to come, and show residents and future Park District board members and staff the direction we are headed. So what does that mean? Well, it means the Park District is looking to do several things: meet an annual balanced budget, prepare for potential state and federal mandates, maintain current capital needs, meet debt obligations, maintain if not reduce expenses, find opportunities to expand revenue, and identify those programs, facilities, and/or services that provide opportunities for divestment, partnership, collaboration, investment to meet their cost recovery goals. The golf club has been a significant part of this conversation for the past decade, and the board has requested I share the following information with the community because they have some important upcoming decisions to make regarding potential long-term investments in the golf club, which I will get to a bit later on. The board wants residents to know the facts and data being considered in their decision. They are committed, as always, to continuing this conversation with residents and to including that community input in their decisions. Before I get started, I'm a golfer. My daughter Addison started her golf career at the Lake Bluff Golf Club at the age of 6 by taking lessons. And now she's 14, playing competitive golf due to this golf club. My family, our staff, and I truly love this course. However, it is important the Park District is financially viable. In 2008, I studied the golf club's financials and immediately knew there were significant challenges like revenue, expenses, and interfund loans. I knew it would be important to study the industry, analyze the golf club's operation and financials, as well as all other Park District assets as quickly as possible. Hence why we went for a referendum in 2009 that included capital for every facility and park. Let's get to the Lake Bluff Golf Club. The board has requested staff share the following information about the golf club with the community for a few reasons. 1. The Park District's contract with Billy Casper Golf to manage the course, which I will discuss a bit later on, ends at the end of the 2008 season. 2. The golf club requires the highest tax subsidy of any Park District program or facility. 3. The golf clubhouse will need to be shut down in January 2019 for significant repairs, including some to meet standards in accordance with the American with Disabilities Act. And 4, the Park District is finalizing a 12-year financial sustainability plan. In 12 years, a majority of the Park District's debt falls off, which will allow us to reset and meet the community priorities of the next generation while implementing sound financial strategies and utilizing taxpayer funds wisely. As mentioned, the Park District Board and staff have been proactively managing and studying long-term viability of the golf club and its impact on the Park District as a whole for more than a decade. In 2001, the golf club constructed a driving range. In 2004 and 2005, the USGA assessed greens and course improvements, resulting in the Park District investing in improvements. In 2008, the golf club installed a new irrigation system, and the board and I did a comprehensive evaluation of operations. In 2009, the auditor addressed significant issues with the golf club, such as revenue and interfund loans. Basically, the golf club was borrowing from other funds, not allowing for maintenance and repair of district-wide assets. A new strategy was developed to raise fees, enhance services, purchase new golf carts, implement full-service golf experience, and more. Significantly, I reorganized the entire Park District and eliminated 7 full-time staff. Additionally, 1 park position moved from full-time to seasonal. As part of the reorganization, 3 golf maintenance employees moved from full-time to seasonal, and we eliminated 1 operational full-time position. It was a very difficult decision, but financial viability was critical and cash was decreasing. We increased cash by an estimated $200,000 each year for the next 3 years, allowing for balanced budgets. In 2010, golf maintenance was reduced by $90,000 due to staffing, more no-mow areas, and more. Along the way, we have utilized residents to evaluate and recommend strategies for different aspects of the Park District, including the golf club. In fact, the Park District has held over 50 public meetings in the past decade about the Lake Bluff Golf Club. Specifically, we have employed everything from citizen committees and task forces to auditors, taxpayer watch groups, golfers, strategic planning meetings, and third-party independent assessments. Each group has offered suggestions, opinions, and/or recommendations about the golf club, which have been shared in Park District publications, on our website, and via email newsletters, all along the way. The Joint Task Force with the City of Lake Forest had significant discussions about golf and the golf club. The Park District has hired several independent third-party firms and consultants to assess and evaluate Park District assets, assist with strategic planning, verify resident needs, and provide data and analysis for all Park District programs, facilities, and services. In particular, significant information has been provided by these consultants about the golf club. In addition, the bond rating company expressed concern the direction of the golf club and wanted to know what the district's future plans are. In 2015, the board directed staff to reduce the annual golf club loss by $150,000 from 2015 as part of the strategic plan. In 2016, we even tried to subcontract with Billy Casper Golf, who has done an amazing job marketing and operating the golf club. For example, Billy Casper Golf has enhanced communication, strengthened loyalty programs, and upgraded the club's digital marketing presence. Their expertise has expanded the email base, allowing for key communication. When the Park District operated the club, we had approximately 4,300 email addresses. And now, with Billy Casper Golf, we have over 7,000. The board and staff have been very impressed. But these resident, Park District, and third-party led initiatives and strategies have not impacted the heavy and concerning decline we have seen in the golf club. Billy Casper Golf has made a slight difference, but not meaningful enough. Billy Casper Golf and Park District's goal was to reach 30,000 rounds. In 2016, we had a slight increase, but decreased again in 2017. 2012 was an outlier, as that year the weather was warm with little rain. Actually, the Midwest boosted the national rounds in 2012. Here you can see the declining national golf trend. It is not a surprise that golf is on a decline. It is a national story. It is a saturated market combined with less people playing. The decline is creating financial challenges for the Park District, and we want you all to see what we really mean by that. There is a difference in what is reported monthly and annually through government budget and financial reports versus what programs, facilities, and services truly cost us. Government accounting is much different than your average private company, but the board and staff have over several years been embarking on a path to analyze indirect expenses such as my time, human resources, technology, pension costs, unemployment, property insurance, and Social Security into the financial reports. We have been analyzing our reports a little differently than most park districts, but probably the Park District's most significant planning initiative came in 2017 when we retained cost of recovery firms called 110% and ePrep Solutions out of Colorado. During our time with 110% and ePrep, the board approved a financial model for the Park District which prioritizes subsidies versus cost of recovery goals for facilities, programs, and services. More subsidy for facilities, programs, and services that benefits a higher number of residents, and less subsidy for individual need-based facilities, programs, and services. You can find this entire 2017 cost of services study on our website. The report provides information and data on all facilities, programs, and services across the entire Park District. Now let's see how the golf club fits within the cost of recovery model. Specifically, the board approved a 110% cost recovery goal for the golf club, and staff included competitive market and target market data that is critical to the analysis. This means that since the Park District subsidizes $466,000 per year for facilities and programs only, not including debt and capital, the golf club's cost recovery shortfall to goal is $384,000, or 82% of the entire subsidization for programs and facilities. This represents the most significant cost recovery shortfall across the entire Park District. As you can see here, the golf club requires by far the highest tax subsidy of any Park District program or facility. To put this chart in perspective, the Park District would need to raise the current golf club rates to about $42 per round, with no drop-off in rounds played. No memberships, no discounts, and this doesn't even begin to cover the more than $200,000 a year in golf club debt service, as well as future capital needs. It is unrealistic in this marketplace. To cover debt and capital, the dollar per round would increase significantly, which again is unrealistic. In December, the 110% consultant recommended to the board that the Park District divest from the golf club. As it is, Lake Bluff sits in the middle of a very competitive golf market. There are 3 public courses within a 5-mile radius of the golf club and 21 public courses within a 10-mile radius. This doesn't even include the private courses that Lake Bluff residents are members. What's more is that only 650 to 800 out of the Lake Bluff Park District's approximately 8,000 residents currently use the golf club. That's less than 10% of the community. 10% or less is consistent with the 2017 community-wide survey results. Additionally, residents only account for about 19.9% of the total rounds played at the golf club, meaning over 80% of rounds played are coming from non-residents. This percentage has been consistent for years. Should the Lake Bluff Park District's most highly tax-subsidized asset be something that's utilized overwhelmingly by a majority of users who are not Lake Bluff residents? That is a decision for the board. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the board has some important upcoming decisions to make regarding potential long-term investments in the golf club. A decision also needs to be made on whether to approve the allocation of $2.7 million in capital needs for the golf club. In 2009, the golf clubhouse was identified by our American with Disabilities Act expert that requires significant repairs. In 2016, our expert and FGM architects stated the repairs are between $600,000 to $700,000 needed to be completed by 2019, which was confirmed by the Attorney General's office. In addition, there are roof issues and other issues identified in the 2013 assessment by the capital consultant and a citizen task force. The Park District's contract with Billy Casper Golf, who is currently managing the golf club's operations, is up for renewal after 2018. The board needs to decide next steps with their contract. As you see here, the golf club has been operating at a significant annual financial loss, $3 million, for the past 12 years, regardless of the numerous operating, marketing, and promotion strategies we have tried in an attempt to make the golf club more financially sustainable. This loss doesn't even take into account the past unemployment, Social Security, and pension costs associated with the golf club. In 2016, we even eliminated 4 seasonal golf maintenance employees and are at the bare minimum of staff, equipment, and supplies. To make matters worse, the golf club is projected to lose over $5.4 million in the coming 12 years. This includes the $2.7 in capital needs and loss of $2.7 million in operations and debt. However, it doesn't account for any indirect expenses. Billy Casper Golf and staff worked collaboratively and provided a 12-year golf forecast and staff reviewed. It doesn't take into account worst-case scenarios. The 12-year forecast has 1% revenue growth, which revenues have been less than 1% over the years. The forecast has 12 years of good weather, where we have averaged bad weather every other year, which could add to the forecasted loss of $500,000. This information was provided by Billy Casper Golf, Park District, ACG, FGM Architects, and reviewed by an independent auditor, Sikich LLP. Now I will shift gears as the board requested staff to analyze and evaluate the entire Park District so they can get a global view of the impacts of golf, capital, debt, and reserves on the Park District. Knowing these decisions were coming, the board contracted accounting firm Sikich LLP in 2017 as part of the district's financial sustainability plan to assess the long-term financials of the whole Lake Bluff Park District. All facilities and services were included in their assessment. As part of this, Sikich looked at several options and provided projections for each option's long-term financial impact on the Park District's net cash flow. The board made the decision and directed Sikich to determine the net cash flow viability for the Park District with the following options only: 18 holes with a renovated golf clubhouse, 18 holes with a modular facility, 9 holes with a renovated golf clubhouse, 9 holes with a modular facility, and Park District without the golf club. I'm going to keep this slide up very briefly as it will be on the website. My next slide is more high level. Sikich reviewed and analyzed the district-wide impacts forecasts for the next 12 years based on the following: operational cash flow, capital needs across the district. However, it doesn't address significant needs such as larger, costly solutions to limit erosion on the beach, and potential adjustments to capital needs, such as elimination of the skate park once it can no longer be repaired and Blair Park tennis courts. These items were communicated in 2013 and 2014. Also, the analysis factored in sale of equipment and current capital reserves and new debt issued. As debt falls off, new debt will need to be reissued for capital needs. Again, the board requested the following options, and staff, third-party firms, and I made assumptions for the next 12 years. In addition, I evaluated the district's organizational structure, revenue, and expenses. Staff and I are very comfortable with these numbers, and Sikich has reviewed this information. Now I will go through each option. The first option is 18 holes with a renovated golf clubhouse. This model shows the golf operations as is, with 1% revenue growth, no bad weather years. It's to use all capital reserves and funding of all district-wide capital needs. It also takes into account debt reissuance. As the debt decreases, we will need to reissue debt to pay for all the capital needs. The second option is 18 holes with the modular facility. This modular facility is factored into lease payments, but we factored in revenues remaining constant. The third option is 9 holes with a renovated golf clubhouse. Billy Casper Golf and staff analyzed 9 holes thoroughly, and it would be worse to offer 9 holes. Maintenance costs would still be incurred and revenues would decrease significantly. Billy Casper Golf has data and analyzed our marketplace. The fourth option is 9 holes with a modular facility. The fifth option is the Park District without golf. This model includes elimination of key personnel, adjustments to capital needs, reissuance of debt to pay for capital needs, using all capital reserves, the use of the clubhouse for storage only and eventually demolishing the building, moving park maintenance operations to the golf maintenance building, and vacate the park maintenance building located near Public Works, focusing on mowing. And finally, this option did go through legal review, and there are no deed restrictions or covenants to keep it a golf course. As you can see, the past and future golf financials are daunting. Eventually, the board needs to make some decisions, but it is important to them that we receive input from the community to properly address the question of whether or not the Park District should continue to offer and operate the Lake Bluff Golf Club. Thank you for watching.